I'm Ron Freeman. I sing and play songs and write them most of the time. I just kind of do this because I can't stop doing it. It's funny because I just can't stop writing. I write all the time and whatever kind of things I want to write. It's just, everybody loves music. You know, there's hardly anybody that doesn't love music. You know, then there's people who love making music, and there's people who love performing, and people who love writing. And, you know, more than any of those, I'm one who loves writing. And, you know, I always kind of thought it would drift off as I got older, and it hasn't. I actually write more now than I did when I was younger. And that's just personal compulsion. And I'm not sure there's anything I can do about it. I started writing songs in high school a long time ago. It started with me teaming up with my buddy Seth Ellsworth back before I could play music at all. I was writing lyrics for him. And then I learned to play, as soon as I learned to play two chords, I was writing shitty two-chord songs. And, you know, so I've been writing music pretty steadily now for over 20 years. You know, as a high school kid, I really loved U2 and REM and alternative bands like that. I mean, pretty mainstream alternative bands, really. You know, and then it, you know, got into Bob Dylan and Neil Young and the old timers that everybody likes. And as I get on, I mean, there's a lot of discovering, you know, folky guys. I grew up in a small town with just classic rock radio. So guys like John Prine and Townes Van Zandt just didn't exist when I was in high school. I had to like grow up and meet people. So people like that are big influences. And then there's a lot of, I think guys like David Bazan from Peter the Lion, Will Sheff from Lockerville River are really influential modern guys. And then somebody like Gillian Welch, who I just adore, but kind of makes music that sounds like it could be 100 years old. Sometimes I try for that, and it's the hardest thing in the world to make music that sounds so simple. This song is called You Can't Trust Guitar Players When They're Wearing Leather Jackets.
You can't trust guitar players under the heat of the stage lights when they're wearing leather jackets just because it looks right. And you can't trust lead singers with their sunglasses on unless they are blind or unless they're Roy Orbison. And you can't trust the sweet sound they put in your ear. Well, they all say that they love you, but none of them are here. And there's a song I could write that's sure to make you love me, but I can't find the words, so I'm gonna have to fake it. There's a letter from your parents that you tore up long ago with some pretty good advice that you didn't want to know. There's a college in New England that you dropped out of when you met a skinny drummer. And we're sure you were in love, and he said he'd love you forever, and you'd fly like the birds. Well, those awful lines are why the band won't let him write the words. And there's a song I could write that's sure to make you love me, but I can't find the words, so I'm gonna have to fake it. If I turn my head too quickly in the wrong light, every blonde in every bar looks just like my ex-wife, and everyone here feels the same. We all feel alone. I sang her song for you, but you'd rather have your own. Something you could raise a glass to in a bored and drunken crowd. If I was a little more catchy, you would love me by now. And there's a song I could write that's sure to make you love me, but I can't find the words, so I'm gonna have to fake it.
All right. This next song, I've been writing songs for lots of my friends to sing. They just make YouTube videos of themselves singing these songs. My buddy Dan Height did this song. It's a baseball song. I got a lot of baseball songs. This song is called Louisville and Birmingham.
Played one game in the major leagues, filled in at third and went 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a double play, but I drew a walk, guess I walked okay. Back on the bus again, going where I've always been, a second-rate player on a second-rate team with the sun in my eyes and a faded dream. Louisville and Birmingham, Louisville and Birmingham, shine at night, but not half as bright as the stadium lights of Cincinnati. I met a girl when I was 28, playing in Charleston, still in AAA. She would hold me tight after the games at night if I got a hit. She said I did alright. Haven't seen her since years ago. I'm playing now on the Pacific Coast, still in the minors at 34, working winters in a hardware store. Louisville and Birmingham, Louisville and Birmingham, shine at night, but not half as bright as the stadium lights of Cincinnati. When I feel my bones getting older, I stare at the moon in the sky and think of that season in Boulder when I hit 20 home runs and felt like someone with a chance to be more than I ever was. A full count makes your stomach hurt when you swing and miss at ball 4 in the dirt. There's a statistician with deja vu, keeping track of everything I do. But once in a while it all makes sense when you hit a line drive off the left field fence. You're giving up on fame and wealth. It's a good life if you love something more than yourself. Louisville and Birmingham, Louisville and Birmingham, shine at night, but not half as bright as the stadium lights of Cincinnati.
Years ago, I grew up right outside of Erie, Pennsylvania, right on Lake Erie. And we could get Canadian radio and Canadian TV. And up in Canada, they have some rule where 25% of everything they play on their radio has to be artists from Canada. And so they played the Tragically Hip all the time. And the Tragically Hip was like the U2 of Canada. They were gigantic up there, and people down here didn't know them at all. But being so close to the border, I was getting their radio signal and listening to it all the time. So this song is called The Only American Kids Who Love the Tragically Hip. So mad.
There's no place more lonesome than here. You carve those words into trees since your freshman year, and now the town's gone to sawdust. Your knife's gone to rust, and every tree in this town looks the same. And you said you were the only American kids who we were like spies on the beach, stealing all signals we reached for Ontario through radio. We stared at the stereo in hopes that we're not so alone. But you said we were the only American kids who love the tragically hip. And no song's a classic if only we know it. No song's a classic if only we know it. No song's a classic if only we sing along. So I dubbed some cassettes for my friends, the ones I wouldn't see until summer ends. And on the first day of 11th grade, I gave all the tapes away. Man, you just got to hear this. And you said, it shouldn't be just you and me, the only American kids who love the tragically hip. And no song's a classic if only we know it. No song's a classic if only we know it. No song's a classic if only we sing along.
All right, I'm going to do a couple of new songs. So when the whole quarantine thing started, I basically wrote like the first week I just like watched like 5 movies, being home all the time. And then the second week I wrote like 3 songs, and never had another week quite so productive. But this is one I started working on that week. And my friend Ryan Pettit does it on YouTube for my, like I said, continuing series of blackmailing my friends into singing my songs on YouTube. So there's like 10 or 12 now. They're suckers, but almost all of them are way better than I could do.
Hear the sound, hear the sound. Trumpets on the edge of town. Lost in the desert now, glory bound. Hear the sound. You leaned in close and whispered in my ear, whatever doesn't kill us makes us suffer longer, you said. But I got a fire in my cabin and warm sheets on my bed. Once I knew all the mysteries of the Bible, prophecies and rumors of war. But I wake up every morning to a world I never dreamed before. Hear the sound, hear the sound. Trumpets on the edge of town. Lost in the desert now, glory bound. Hear the sound. Now the same light shines on the wicked and the just, and I know just what you did wrong. But baby, I'm trying to be forgiving as the dawn. So you kissed my ear and laughed at the saints. You love the way a sinner forgives. No hope of righteousness, dying just the way he lives. Hear the sound, hear the sound. Trumpets on the edge of town. Lost in the desert now, glory bound. Hear the sound. Well, I try to be kind, I try to be true, a friend of both the day and the night. I try not to hope for rewards at the end of the light. threw my gun in the river, my sword in the dirt, and a blanket over top your bare legs. I'm with the panhandlers in heaven, honey, you should see us beg. Hear the sound, hear the sound, trumpets on the edge of town. Lost in the desert now, glory bound. Hear the sound. Hear the sound. It's so weird not to have applause still. It's like you just want to, like, because so many singers and songwriters and people, it's all about validation and feeling bigger inside than we should. And you just want applause and acclaim all the time. And that's what makes us sick people. And can't help it. This is, so this was a quarantine song also. This was written... so there was a show I wanted to see in July, and it didn't happen. And it kind of like sparked this song. I hope the world is healed in time for you and your sister to come over on Friday night. We'll play cards, we'll drink beer, we'll be glad our friends are here. I hope the world is healed in time. I hope the world is healed in time for that concert we have tickets to late in July. I want to hear my favorite song, hold your hand and sing along. I hope the world is healed in time. If all tomorrow's sorrows could just be wished away and vanish like the words that poets only pray, I want to be there on that day. I hope the world is healed in time for my daughter to live a peaceful life with no burden she can't bear and love enough to share. I hope the world is healed in time. Smashed that. This next song, so in the 1800s there was this guy named William Miller, and William Miller thought that Jesus was going to return October 22nd. I forget the year. Obviously, Jesus didn't return that day, but Miller didn't. He didn't say he was a prophet. Miller just thought he figured it out by looking at the Bible and studying all them words and doing a bunch of math. And when Jesus didn't come back on October 22nd, it was known as the Great Disappointment. He had thousands of followers in America. It was not just a little thing. It was a pretty big deal. Anyway, so this song was inspired by that and also by abandoned shopping malls. I was living in a burnt-over place. I was living in a burnt-over place. Look for fire, there'll be no trace, just ashes everywhere. Now there's digital stars and analog skies. Digital stars and analog skies. Computers animate the fireflies that light our way. And oh my soul, hell can burn so cold. All the smoke and coal blacken the engineer's soul. When no one rides a train We parked at the ghost of a shopping mall. Parked at the ghost of a shopping mall, and the anchor's there, but that is all. The food court is closed, and teenagers fall off their skateboard. In the parking lot of Montgomery Ward, we'll twist pop songs till they praise the Lord. In a church that used to be a big box store, and oh, oh my soul, hell can burn so cold. All the smoke and coal blacken the engineer's soul when no one rides a train. We were spending money and making friends. Well, isn't that American? Just shut up and try to pretend you love me like you did back then. And every day's been heaven sent since the great disappointment. And you'd done all the math, counted every word, but you woke up and it's October 23rd. And oh my soul, hell can burn so cold. All the smoke and coal blacken the engineer's soul when no one rides a train.
Thank you. All right, I've been writing, so I had a little girl who's almost 2 now, and really since she was born is when I really kind of kicked it into another gear, writing more and more. And part of that is, I don't know, just I want my kid to grow up and think of me as a songwriter and as a creative person instead of the guy who has to work a schlub job all the time. And so I don't know, so there's that kind of just wanting to show my kid. And then the other thing is that I've been writing kids' songs and songs that are goofier. And so I'm going to do a few goofy kids' songs that aren't that goofy. I'm not doing my goofiest ones. Like I have one about the bear who doesn't wear underwear, but I'm not going to do that one. Sorry. But this song, my daughter's name is Rosie. And this song is called Little Girl on the Moon.
Rosie loved the nighttime when the stars and planets play. She would dream at night with both eyes wide. Some days she'd fly away. Her mother gave her cardboard. She'd play out on the lawn. She would cut and paste and imagine the space and the adventures she'd go on. She'll paint her rocket purple, blast off this afternoon. We'll have a big parade on Earth for a little girl on the moon. Now Rosie's getting older. When pretend becomes a plan, she learns a lot about astronauts and the way that they began. She's good at engineering, loves astrophysics too. She studied long, she's brave and strong, she's going to the moon. She'll wave to all the cameras, blast off this afternoon. We'll have a big parade on Earth of little girls on the moon. They'll paint their rockets purple, blast off this afternoon. All the little girls on Earth will dream that they're also on the moon. Also on the moon. So I'm often singing my kid to sleep.
She does, there's songs that she really wants to hear all the time, like the Sesame Street songs, Sing, the real old ones, Sing a song, that one. really into Itsy Bitsy Spider, super into that for sure. One of the most annoying ones is she'll like never endingly want If You're Happy and You Know It while she's like trying to go to sleep. And so I'll sing like, after a while, there's only so much you can do in the crib. So I start singing things like If You're Happy and You Know It, close your eyes. If you're happy and you know it, pretend you're asleep. And she does those things, but I try and get her to actually fall asleep. Like, if you're happy and you know it, fall asleep. And she just like pretends to snore. But I also have been singing a lot of stuff like Townes Van Zandt and Tom Waits songs and things like that to her. There's some Woody Guthrie songs that she really seems to know. It's really funny. She's starting to sing along to things. But I have a couple of songs that I actually wrote while, like, spontaneously wrote these while singing to her, and just kind of would sing little parts over and over again until I had them. And both of these next songs really didn't take very long to write. I kind of would edit them later. But both of these were just kind of spontaneous songs, which was a weird thing for me to do. I wrote them both a cappella and then had to go figure out how to play them on guitar. Never done anything like that. But she likes them okay. She fell asleep to both of them. That's really as good as you're going to get. The song's called Bluebird.
Bluebird in my garden bed, why do you love the dirt instead? All those clouds above your head, bluebird in my garden bed. Oh me, oh my, I'm going where the bluebird flies. Heaven take me when I die, going where the bluebird flies. Bluebird on my windowsill, won't you fly to heaven's hill? Breath of peace on a breeze so still, bluebird on my windowsill. Oh me, oh my, I'm going where the bluebird flies. Heaven take me when I die, going where the bluebird flies. Bluebird high above the sea, I hope you will remember me. If you don't, I'll be at peace. Bluebird high above the sea. Oh me, oh my, I'm going where the bluebird flies. Heaven take me when I die, going where the bluebird flies. Oh me, oh my, I'm going where the bluebird flies. Heaven take me when I die, going where the bluebird flies.
Yeah, I just said the title. This song is called Dig a Little Deeper.
What can I do when the well runs dry? What can I do when the well runs dry? What can I do when the well runs dry? Guess I gotta dig a little deeper. Well, there's water in the hole for my thirsty little soul, a place around the table where the stories get told, and a seat by the fire when I'm lonesome and cold. We all gotta dig a little deeper. We all gotta dig a little deeper. We all gotta dig a little deeper. I can't find the treasure that I buried here. Can't find the treasure that I buried here. Can't find the treasure that I buried here. Guess I gotta dig a little deeper. Well, there's treasure in the hole and treasure in my soul. Maybe diamonds or winter's worth of coal, or mama in the kitchen with pudding in a bowl. We all gotta dig a little deeper. We We all gotta dig a little deeper. We all gotta dig a little deeper. There's a feeling in my heart that I just can't say. A feeling in my heart that I just can't say. A feeling in my heart that I just can't say. Guess I gotta dig a little deeper. Well, there's a feeling in my soul that'll lift me when I'm old. We all chip in to pay my brother's toll when he's down and out and desperate on the dole. We all gotta dig a little deeper. We all gotta dig a little deeper. We all gotta dig a little deeper. What can I do when the well runs dry? What can I do when the well runs dry? What can I do when the well runs dry? Guess I gotta dig a little deeper. We all 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 gotta dig a little deeper.
I'll go from those couple of those more kid-friendly songs to something darker than that. So years ago, I wrote an EP called Assassins, and each song is a love song from the perspective of a presidential assassin, which was obviously a very weird idea. But this song is Lee Harvey Oswald's song. When Oswald left for work the morning that he killed Kennedy, he left behind two little girls that were under the age of 4. That was the last he ever saw them. And as far as I know, a few years ago, at least, they were still alive. Their mother remarried later, and they took their stepdad's name. And their whole life, they basically tried to keep it a secret that they were Oswald's daughters because they were ashamed of him. And this interview that I read was done anonymously, so their names weren't revealed. But one said that she had been dating a guy for a while, and she decided to tell him, and that was the last she heard from him. And the other daughter said that after years she told her best friend at work, and the next day everybody at work knew. And they've just been living with the shame of it for a long, long time. And the whole concept of the EP was that these were love songs from the perspective of a presidential assassin. And the Oswald song was the hardest to write because he was probably the worst of them as far as just an awful human being. He was abusive and nasty and not a loving husband or father at all. And so for him to have a love song, it had to be an apology. And so I kind of refer to this as his apology from hell. Anyway, this song is called Heat Without Light.
They caught me inside the theater in a cheap double feature. It's a sad cry of battle. And movies been like forever through beat-up projectors humming over my shoulder. And you were home with your mother. She learned from the anchor like everyone else. Her tears smelled like cigarettes on a black and white TV set through rabbit ear signals. And now I feel heat without light. Now I feel heat without light. without light. And I'm sorry you changed your name and hid from the cameras. You were beautiful girls. I never got to explain why it all happened, why I let you down. And now I feel heat without light. Now I feel heat without light. Now I feel heat without light. I left some money on the table for you and your sister. I hope you are fine. The grass needs cut every weekend. If I can't be there, it'll just have to grow.
I'm going to do a couple more. So COVAID Live is your thing. This is Andy Shaw and Jerry and I knew it, Aaron. I knew it. I mean, I just met a couple of these guys, but they're doing a great job. COVAID Live has been helping a lot of people, either helping musicians who need some dough or helping some organizations that also need dough. Who doesn't need dough? I haven't actually picked which organization this thing is going to benefit, but I will have picked it by the time you see this, and there'll be a little crawl underneath where you can donate. I didn't really think about that. I just kind of thought about like, oh shit, I got to play in front of people again, even if it's just 3 people. So I'm going to do a couple, like I said, I read a lot of baseball songs. I have 4 or 5. I'm working on eventually getting an all baseball record. But I'm going to do finish up with 2 baseball songs. This one, my friend Luke Chamberlain, he performed it on YouTube. We had it all set. This song is called Opening Day. It was set to premiere this year on opening day back in March. And then everything got fucked up and the world's terrible. And opening day ended up happening in July. And when we put it up then, but we kind of had it all good to go before then. So I love baseball. I missed it a lot. So much of being a songwriter, like everybody always comes up to you and says, you should write a song about that. And inside you're saying, fuck you, I'm not going to do that. That's what you say inside. Because like I've never written a song when somebody says, oh, you should write a song about that. It's just because what you need is you need to see something and say, there's a song in there. And you don't know why there's a song in there. When you say that, you need to think of like the emotions of like, why does that in 2 seconds like connect with me that I need to write about it when this person's suggestion didn't? And for whatever reason, baseball songs really come out of me. And I just emotionally connect with the spirit of the game. I don't know. But this song is Opening Day. Is past, the grass is green again. The pitchers and the catchers are like long lost friends. And all of us have smiles as we walk through the turnstiles. New life begins on opening day. It's the hope of spring and a home run swing. And everyone's in first place on opening day.
and it feels like being old, at the same time young and free. And all those losing seasons are memories to me. And maybe next year is maybe finally here. We can all believe on opening day. It's the hope of spring and a home run swing, and everyone's in first place on opening day. Grab a hot dog, grab a beer, call off work. The gang's all here. Shake the cobweb, shake the curse. It's scoreless in the top of the first. Let's go see them play on opening day. Meet me in the bleachers, I'll have sunshine on my face. In April we can dream of a September pen and chase. Tomorrow always comes, hope runs out for some, but everyone's in first place on opening day. It's the hope of spring and a home run swing. Everyone's in first place on opening day. It's the hope of spring and a home run swing. Everyone's in first place on opening day.
All right. You can find me on the internet. Lost Orchards is the name of my band and what I release music as. But you can find Lost Orchards Facebook page. You can also find Ron Freeman's Songs and Stories. Look for that. This last one, let me tell you another story before we leave. In 1977, Glenn Burke played for the Dodgers. Now, he was not a particularly good player. He had, I think, 2 career home runs. But one of the most interesting things about Glenn Burke was that in 1977, he was openly gay amongst his teammates. Certainly one of the first athletes in major sports to be openly gay, at least amongst his teammates. They didn't have Twitter back then for him to announce it to everybody in the world, but it was a pretty well-known thing in the community as well. The other noteworthy thing about Glenn Burke was that he invented the high five. Glenn Burke batted after Dusty Baker, who went on to manage the Reds and the Cubs and stuff. Anyway, Dusty Baker hit a home run, rounded the bases, and very spontaneously the high five was invented as they met at home plate. And then Glenn Burke proceeded to hit his first career home run. What a 5 minutes in the life of somebody. But he ended up only playing for a few years. He really was given a hard time by management. You had stories like the Dodgers owners trying to get him to marry a woman to kind of hide it and stuff like that. Stories that you would hear back then. And thankfully, we don't have that as much anymore. And this song is kind of about that we don't have that stuff anymore, that there's a lot of ways that the world's a terrible place. We know that. But there's a lot of ways that things are getting better for some people, and hopefully getting better for you, wherever you are out there. And this song is called Glenn Burke Invented the High Five.
Glenn Burke invented the high five on a day just like today. He reached up and slapped Dusty Baker's hand as he was crossing home plate. And it took a million years to find this way to relate, to share joy with our brothers, to celebrate. There's new joy for the joyless, new love for the loveless, new hope for the hopeless, new courage for those in fear. There's new life for the lifeless, new friends for the friendless, new faith for the faithless, a new way to say I'm here. Glenn Burke hung out on Castro Street at the gay bars. He taught the high five to those guys and the major league stars. And if we can't bat 300 or hit the ball far, we can love as we've been loved. We can know who we are. There's new joy for the joyless, new love for the loveless, new hope for the hopeless, new courage for those in fear. There's new life for the lifeless, new friends for the friendless, new faith for the faithless, a new way to say I'm here. We sing songs when we're lonely, draw pictures on the wall, write poems when we fall out of love and have no one to call. And it took 1,000,000 years for God to give us baseball. It took Glenn Burke just an instant to give it us all. There's new joy for the joyless, new love for the loveless, new hope for the hopeless, new courage for those in fear. There's new life for the lifeless, new friends for the friendless, new faith for the faithless, a new way to say I'm here. Thank you for tuning in.